Okay, so I've gotten to the bottom of the wobbly power takeoff shaft for the John Deere tractor, as you saw in the series 8120 PTO Shaft, whatever thing I posted for over the last few days. Turns out that it was not the power takeoff shaft on the tractor, which I thought it was, because that's what it was the last time. So, got a hold of Krone, or I got a hold of Messick's, because we realized that the CV joint on the power takeoff shaft, it always wobbled from the day that I got it. You know, not really, I didn't think it was too bad, but it was bad enough to warrant me spending over $2,000 in parts for the tractor. But anyways, we pretty much deduced that it's the power takeoff shaft for the Krone baler. So in that box right there is the brand new power takeoff shaft. And here comes the 8120. And that's good. That's good. So anyways, if you, I got a lot of flack for that power takeoff shield, how everybody's like, just cut it off of there. Well, when you got to pay that kind of money, let's see, check this out, if it'll focus. For the entire power takeoff shaft, that's the shaft with a shield in there. You have to take care of these things. So now with this new shaft with the shield, I haven't opened it yet, but I'm going to. I put a new shield on this one, and it actually wobbled even worse. The shield did, and it was just going to tear the shield up, but I'm going to show you real quick the play in that shaft. It just moves back and forth, and that's the plate inside the CV. So my theory is, because this was a demonstration tractor, and the I don't believe it was set up properly before they went to the field with it, and it takes 3.53 grams of grease in that reservoir. 3.53, which is 100 grams, 3.53 ounces of grease in just the reservoir, so that it doesn't destroy that CV. So yeah, so if they didn't grease it, it only takes about half an hour to destroy that CV, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So me and Cody are going to go ahead and tear this bitch apart, and I'll open that thing up, and we're going to take that off. So it's going to be a little bit of an experience here, because I'm not really sure. I think what we have to do here is somehow, I guess they're I don't even know how that is. Maybe I can see them here. Ain't that some shit? I have no idea. Yeah, it's going to be a real rooster fish, that's for sure. So we'll have to figure that one out. And why isn't this camera focusing properly? What the fuck is wrong? Alright. So here's what I've got. This is supposed to, see now, I actually have the original shield for this thing, and the original shield, of course, is saying every 50 hours for that one, which is crazy. But yeah, what happened to it? It is gone. It's gone, but I know it was 100 grams in that thing, because that one says it's 100 grams, and it was the same. It's 120. Every 20 hours I'm supposed to grease this. Now I grease it every day, because I just don't chance anything when it comes to these power takeoff shafts, for the reason that I have described earlier in the video, is I don't want to break it, because it is one hell of an expensive piece. So yeah, but I think this is a heavier duty one. I have to just get it out of here. It's so fucking heavy. Ugh, it weighs a ton. Alright, and it is shipped dry. Just a slight bit of, yeah, it's just a push button. That's all. So you should be able to reach up in there and just push.
This is a bolt.
It's not a bolt, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
What are you smoking?
Crack. It's only a little bit of crack. And a little bit of crack doesn't hurt anybody. You know, crack cocaine. Alright, so it's a bolt. No spring in there. Huh. Well, you should be able to see this. You should be able to get a ratchet on that bolt then. How about we take the 3 screws out of the shield that's on there and move that out of the way, and I think you can get it in. Get your wrench in there. Probably be the best. So try the screwdriver approach first. Alright, so I'm done yakking on this thing, and I'm going to start greasing it with the grease that I usually use, this high temperature grease. I was using that SIG 3000 by Worth, but I can't get it anymore. I just am not able to get it, so I'm using this stuff for many reasons. High temperatures, high speed. It says irregular maintenance, but I don't have that program. Good in cold weather, and it meets and exceeds all of these. It doesn't say anything about chrome, but I know they have the same drive shafts in them. And it gets hot down there, so 560 degrees is pretty damn hot. So anyway, let me get on to this. Okay, so I want to explain a little bit about how these CV joints work. Okay, because a lot of guys have never even seen one, let alone understood why they're so expensive. There is one hell of a lot of machining that goes into one of these pieces of equipment, because let's face it, I've bought Tedders that are less money than a $5,102 drive shaft. These drive shafts have a really funky yoke here. I mean, here you got your cross, and then you've got this thing here that looks like a yoke. But if you look, I'm going to try and get a good bead on this so you can see. Let me get it in the light. Okay, so at the back of this cross, at the back of this yoke, there is another piece of metal that goes around the back side. It's not like your regular standard open single cross power takeoff shaft. And in the back of that there is a ball. It is machined. It's about that big. And isn't that amazing? I put the grease in the cross and it came out green with nothing else. You can see a little bit down the bottom side. So they really don't put the grease in it that they should. So my suspicions are probably correct. But anyways, that ball, okay, that ball goes onto a plate. Now that plate, as you can see, it's nice and shiny back in there, goes around the outside of this very large piece of steel where the grease fitting is. Well, that grease fitting fills that whole entire round thing, and it is actually a reservoir for grease. So if you're driving across the field and you're going straight as an arrow and you're not making any turns, it will actually dry out that plate and cause it to heat up, and it will actually wear out faster in a straight field with a slight curve than it will in a field that has lots of curves, because that plate dips into the reservoir and then it brings fresh, clean, cool grease back up onto this plate. And there's a ball on this side, and there's also I believe there is actually a ball on this side. So that plate is what actually keeps it straight, so there's none of that chatter stuff as it goes right to left, up, down, whatever. So that's how these things work. And that's where all the machining is done, and it's very expensive, and it has to be welded properly in order to get those plates in there. The back side of this thing, or that reservoir, is welded, and you can not see it because it's on this side. So they put the plates in, they put that end cap on after the plates with the sockets are in, and then they weld it. I've had a shaft come through on one of the New Hollands, I think it was a BB9080, that was welded improper, and it was bad from the start. I mean, the thing just basically blew apart. This drive line, it is probably the most important thing you can grease on this baler. If you don't want to grease that thing for a few days, that's your business. It'll survive. But if you don't grease this thing, within an hour it's junk. I mean, it will junk it, and then you got to go either spend, I don't know, $3,000 for a front half or $5,100 on the whole thing to replace it. So my suggestion is even if the tube of grease costs you $15 for the tube of grease, that is going to work in here the longest and the best and be the most effective, that is the cheapest thing you can buy. That is an insurance policy that you're not going to be spending $5,000 on that power takeoff shaft. So just my thoughts, and I can tell you right now, by, of course I've got some green grease, by the color of the grease that is in this power takeoff shaft, that is from the manufacturer. Now the manufacturer of these things, it's an Italian company, they want to sell these things. So they're really not going to put the really good expensive grease in their grease guns to put into a shaft that they are selling for, well, they're probably selling it for $4,000, and then of course the markup on the rest of it is somebody else, you know, so that's where they make their money. So yeah, it's quite a racket if you ask me, but just remember, don't trust the guy before you. Grease the shit out of it. I know I greased it before I ever went to the field, and I still ended up with that because just 1 hour ruins them. And that's one thing. It takes us hours, literally hours, to prep this machine to go to the field for, you know, to bail for the day, because I don't want a broken piece of equipment. With this thing being worn out, it will wear out the parts on the tractor that I just replaced. And quite honestly, if I was a little bit more observant, I guess I would have caught that it was this end, and I would have saved myself money on the back end of the tractor, even though I feel that it needed to be replaced anyway. I could have probably got away with it for the season. So anyhow, I guess that's it for this until I get it on.